It is, you gotta like it.
Good morning, live from Los Angeles. Welcome to Good Morning LaLa Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jez Moyer, co-host of Good Morning LaLa Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and now on Twitter.
Nice. And today we've got a great show in store for you. It's Thought Thursday, and we are all about influencers. So we actually we're going to show you today's magazine for Focus Magazine. It actually comes out today.
Yes.
And we're going to reveal the cover right here on the show, talk all about it. We're going to talk about the 5 kind of keys to being an influencer, because everybody is all about influencing, right?
Apparently it's very important.
And this Focus Magazine is all about influencing. It's the influence issue. And what's so great about this magazine and this studio is that we are hashtag community powered. The magazine is out today. It's going to be seen from Manhattan Beach to Malibu, all over West Hollywood. We can't wait to share it with you.
That's right. So there's so many people in our community in here. We're not going to show the cover right now, but I have to just say a little shout out to Amanda Russell, who has a 4-page spread in here. She's actually teaches influencing at UCLA, and I actually had the privilege of reading through the magazine, and I love it because she says, be seen, be heard, be remembered. And she's actually, and what's interesting is they take all these kind of examples of people on social media and start looking at what works, what doesn't work, and it's pretty fascinating.
Well, she's one of the OG influencers, right? So she built this crazy big following on YouTube for her brand, Fit, Strong, and Sexy. We did her challenge last month here on Good Morning LaLa Land. We had her on the show yesterday, and she also is moonlighting as a professor. So it's really amazing how she's really learned and perfected it for herself and is able to share that with the community.
I have to say, I've had some phenomenal professors in my life, but none that looked the way she does and talks about the cool stuff she talks about. I mean, really true. Like, it's so relevant and practical, and such a cool offering that she has.
She's a badass.
So fit, strong, and sexy,
right?
isn't it?
So
She's got energy about 10 times more than most normal human beings on this planet.
And if you don't have energy, you can go get some here at Amplify Acupuncture. So I had the honor of interviewing the owner, June, earlier this year, and she's really incredible. Born and raised in Mexico City, then she went to fashion school, learned Eastern medicine, and now she's giving back. It's on the west side, actually. It's on Main Street in Santa Monica, and she has a really approachable take to acupuncture. So if you need energy, that's right on the menu. If you want to sleep, that's on the menu. So you don't have to be as intimidated about acupuncture. It's a really cool space. It almost feels like you're going in for like a manicure or pedicure or something.
Very welcoming.
Very welcoming, except you're going to get poked. So it was fantastic. It was really, really great.
Nice. So much, all the pretty pictures of the women. It was kind of like overwhelming.
And it could be a lot of fluff sometimes.
A lot of fluff, a lot of ads. And so, of course, I had the magazine at home, and I was like, well, let me look at articles. I know that you wrote one as well.
Oh, absolutely. But let's be clear, it is also full of beautiful women.
Yeah.
But this time they're actually having a huge influence. Lauren Everts is featured. She's the creator of The Skinny Confidential. Love her. Been following that for years. Who else are you reading about, Rob?
Well, there's a really cool sort of article in here about how influencers monetize, which I think everybody's interested in.
That's
like
the
whether
secret.
whether you're an influencer or not, it's interesting, right?
Yeah, so we can't tell you. You're going to have to read the magazine.
You have to pick up the magazine to find that information, but super cool little article in there about that as well.
I love that.
Yeah.
So who's been a big influence in your guys' lives?
Cynthia Abby Naked. She created Tuck with Coley Collective. She's been a huge influence on my life, actually, because I was guilty as charged of wearing that hair tie, that ugly hair tie around my wrist, day in and day out. So she created this perfect cuff bracelet. She's just a student of architecture, right? 3D prints it off and is changing the lives of all of the women who have walked around.
We've all walked around with the hair tie, right?
Yes, and now it's totally in disguise. It's an incredible business. I'm so proud of her. Only 24, and she's creating an empire.
24.
I love that. How about you, Rob?
Oh my goodness, there's so many people. I love Alex, the Powerista. She's been influential. I just love what she's doing and where she's taking the show. I mean, there's so many people in here. You could literally just go on for days.
Jerry Lerner.
Jerry Lerner, we love.
Jerry Show Lives.
Yes.
He's been such an influence on our community here at Focus TV and the Focus Magazine. He took this shot of us Yes, the center
Dr. Drew.
spread.
Dr. Drew, for sure.
Huge. Dr.
He's
Drew is one of my
influence,
absolute favorites.
For sure.
Yeah, and I grew up watching him, still watching him.
Right. Listening to him for sure.
Yeah, he's interesting, he's authentic, he's so intelligent.
I love the Q&As. I love when people call in, you're like, wow, this person's really asking about, I have no idea.
Influence on my life right here. Hashtag influencer Rob official.
Right? Yeah, where's all
That's
those?
an accident. Is that an accident?
Love them. Yeah, there's some good ones in all these.
I get to sit next to this good-looking guy every day.
Oh, you're the
and
sweetest, Jess.
You know what's better? Is he's got amazing advice. You are one of the most incredible listeners, and you just have the gift of telling us exactly what we need to hear, whether or not we want to hear it. That's exactly what we need
I
to hear.
so appreciate that, Jess. It's funny because I feel like we're all mirrors for each other in that way, because I get such incredible insights from you and of course from Dr. Erin. It's just amazing. We have a really, really lucky, intelligent team here.
Big shout out to Christina Pascucci, who is a dear girlfriend of mine, who is a KTLA news anchor, and she's interviewed everyone from the Dalai Lama to all kinds of people. So some major influencers right here.
Can't forget the spiritual influencer herself, Dr. Erin. A gorgeous spread here in the magazine. We're so excited and so grateful for the influence and the light you share with us every morning.
That's
Erin.
right.
You got to check out this issue.
Right.
This is amazing.
So this show is all about influence and how we all, and the reality and the truth is that we all influence everyone everywhere we go.
Whether we want to or not.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
But we're really specifically talking about influencing online, influencing your business, influencing in powerful ways that we want to. So in the second segment, we're going to break down 5 tips to being a influencer.
Love it.
So let's take a little break. When we come back, we're going to dive deep into those tips. Stay tuned.
I'm Jasmine Moyer, co-host of Good Morning La Land with my girl Victoria Simone. Hey girl! And in case you missed us live, this was This Week in La Land.
Yes, let's hear it.
On Monday, we namaste all day with America's youngest yoga instructor, Tabe Atkins.
What?
Tuesday, we had the inspiring story of Allison Marie Raguso and her creation of Bogavia,
Beauty of the Adriatic.
We love it! Wednesday was Richie Shane of World's Greatest Vacation, and Thursday we had a studio full of love with Love Pets Photography, Glenn and Coco, Saving Canine Lives Plus with Jasmine Kimball, and Sylvie Bordeaux continued the legacy with Muppet and Famously Single.
With our guy, Rob Mack. Thanks for tuning in to This Week in La Land. I'm Victoria Simone. This is Jessalyn Moyer. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hi everyone, thank you for tuning into This Week in Focus. I am your host, Victoria Simone, bringing you some of the highlights of what was filmed last week at the Focus TV network, which is America's first video streaming talk show network. Today I have my favorite Jessalyn Moyer, host of Good Morning La La Land, helping me out. First up, we had Moms Matter, hosted by Shirin Yadagard. We shot The Alyssa Goodman Show with the amazing Alyssa Goodman herself. We shot Game Changers with Annalise Getz. Aside from our normal lineup, we had Good Morning La La Land, who was on your show.
Allison Marie Raguso, creator of Bogavia. We also had Richie Shane, creator of The World's Greatest Vacations. And Friday, Chad Johnson, Bachelorette, Famously Single. And we had a whole studio full of pet love this week with Love Pets Photography, Saving Canine Lives, and Muffins Halo.
Thanks for tuning into This Week in Focus. I am your host, Victoria Simone. Jez, thanks for helping me out. Bye-bye.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We are so excited for the launch of the Influence issue of Focus magazine today, and so we are talking all of
Great article from Huffington Post, no other, about all the different aspects of becoming an influencer. And I think that it's a very advanced science, so I don't think that anyone can break it down fully, but I do think that there are some common denominators to being an influencer. And first of all, we have to define what is an influencer, right? So we're not talking about, we're all influencers. We are all, we all have great energy that influences in positive and negative ways. But we're talking specifically about people that influence online in particular, because right now it is like a $2 billion industry of influencers, and basically marketers and things, a whole arena of a business has changed because of influencers.
Yeah.
So an influencer is somebody who's online that has the ability to really engage and influence. So if they actually promoted something, it would be actually really received by their community. I guess that's how people would technically define
so they're making
influencers,
money online.
right?
Yeah,
It
they're
is,
making
yes.
money. Well, and the effect they have, their influence is actually measurable.
It's measurable, which is completely, yeah, exactly. And of course, money is how we measure a lot in our culture. So you can say it's a bummer that it's money, but you know, money is God too, right? So on that, so number one is focus. So this is all about branding, right? We need to know your niche. We need to know exactly what what is it that you're actually influencing about, and everything around that. So for you guys, like, you know, what is it that you guys, when you think about an influencer out there, what is somebody specifically, and what are they specifically influencing you on?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's such a good question, and it's such a hard question to answer, because you look at the folks that have the biggest following, for instance, or seem to be making or having the most influence, and sometimes it's not all that clear what exactly they're offering. But I've always loved people like Tony Robbins, and I love the Eckhart Tolles, and I love those folks online. Their focus is pretty precise, it's pretty specific. You know, Tony Robbins is sort of motivation. Eckhart Tolle is all about staying in the moment and being present. And so I love those kind of constant reminders. But there are people doing all kinds of different
You know, it's
things.
really interesting you mentioned that, Rob, because yesterday I read an article that said people who have a positive influence have a larger influence, right? So the people who are posting with captions that are positive are actually creating a more positive environment and having a bigger influence than people who are posting things that are negative.
That makes me so happy. That makes me so happy to hear that.
Comedies, of course, some of the biggest influencers online are comedians, or just do random stuff that's like over the top.
This is so, absolutely, the comedy is huge. And I think that's, of course, always been a theme. We always want some relief and want to escape from like reality, essentially. I am interested about this sort of the increasing impact of positive influence, because I wonder if that's got to be a shift that's pretty new still, I think.
Absolutely.
Right?
Well, and there's certainly a demand for it, right? So every 17 seconds, somebody is watching another TED Talk. There is a demand. Billions of people are watching TED Talks. That's why we're being called to do what we do here on Good Morning La La Land, highlighting positive things that are happening, highlight positive influencers in our community, and share a positive story.
That's right.
Jeslyn dropping
So
wisdom.
number one is focus, which means get involved with groups that are in your niche. Pick out your niche. Make sure people understand what they're going to consume when they come to your social media, when they come to your programs, or whatever it is that you are up to. So getting very clear on your focus and your clarity, right?
Yeah.
So number two is find your voice. And what they found is that influencers have a voice. There's kind of three aspects to it broken down through. Oprah talked about it in many other places. So it says expressiveness, control, and sensitivity. So you need to be, you know, basically have captioned somebody, right? So what influences somebody who knows with commanding, with persistence, but also is sensitive, compassionate. They know when to be, you know, there's a time, even say when you're posting, if say some traumatic event happened in the world and all of a sudden you're posting about, you know, having a great time with your friends, having a party, it's not going to be appropriate, right? So having the voice at the right time, having appropriateness.
This is so interesting, and it's just perfectly stated there, Erin, because, you know, if you think about it, what they're really saying there is we connect with people who we feel an emotional connection with most deeply, right? It's the emotion, and so the more sort of you can emote, and the deeper you can be sort of expressive, the more you can be expressive, and the more you can channel that in ways that doesn't, you know, alienate people and insult people, the more positive impact you're going to have as an influencer.
Bottom line, be yourself. Be authentic to who you are.
Yeah.
Be real, be raw, be relevant.
Yeah.
Be raw,
have you guys seen Horrible Bosses, the movie, by any chance?
No,
Okay.
I love the trailer.
Right? Okay, so there's a scene though. It's funny, they're all sitting on the couch and he basically says something like, let's just all be, you know, we're gonna all be ourselves. And of course they're all super nervous. And you know, Jason Bateman's character says, let's not all be ourselves. We're like a trailer, like a dumpster fire. Let's be our best selves. And so, you know, absolutely agree with you, Jez. It's important to be yourself, but try to put your best foot forward.
Right?
Yeah.
So number three is create content, which means being consistent, knowing your keywords. So say you're in the field of self-development or something like that, then you would want to make sure you know the keywords for people that are in the arena of keywords. A lot of times there's different events or conferences or whatever it is. You want to know what those keywords are. You also want to know your hashtags and your links and SEO searches. And people might be like, what is that? But if you're writing even a post, you want to have it be relevant to where Google will pick up your posts, your comments, your hashtags, and be able to show that.
And a great tip with that is that you don't have to do this all by yourself. Follow somebody who's already doing it and doing it well. Use the hashtags they're using. They've mastered it, right? And the secret too is collaboration. See if you can get on board with what they're doing. Work with them. You don't have to do this alone.
Absolutely,
right?
all about
so
partnerships.
true, absolutely. Number four is engage. I probably think this is one of the biggest ones. So how do you get people to engage? You know, one is asking them questions, call to actions on your post, And then when people comment, you always comment back, and it's not just like, haha, yay, good, oh, whatever. Like, you want to actually have an authentic, more engaging response to people's comments. So I don't know if you guys have time for it. I don't know how people have
it's
all
good.
the time
It's
to
good.
do all this
I
stuff.
sleep 6 hours now. It's 4. It's 2.
Let's just
it doesn't matter.
Like, keeping up on social media is a full-time job. So I've really tried to like dedicate just this hour to that. I can't engage all day, or I'd seriously be on my phone all day. But if I say, you know, from 4 to 5, that's when I'm going to respond to all of these comments. That's when I'm going to blow up all of your posts, because otherwise it's kind of consuming.
It's so smart to do it that way, Jez, where you actually schedule out when you'll be on social media and when you won't. That way it won't bleed into all times and
But if you think about it, true social influencers are probably doing it as a full-time job. They literally are on social media probably 8 hours a day.
I would, yes and no, right? Because there are some folks that are in a position where they don't need to be on there all day because they've already got the following, and so they've kind of hit this tipping point where it has its own momentum. But you're right, to get there.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to know how many people actually hire their social media done versus not, because I don't know how you would if you're engaging with your community. You'd have to really know your community.
You'd certainly have to have those glasses from the sleep doctor.
Yes, I need those.
Protect your eyes from all the screens. By the end of the day, I'm like an old lady. I'm holding things out here. I'm like, what does that say? I feel already burned out from the limited amount of time I'm doing it.
Right,
so true.
Right. So number 5 is make mistakes and get back up. So I think that the point is that see what works and doesn't work, see what gets engagement, what doesn't, and things like that, and watch your own statistics. If you put your Instagram into a business account, you can actually see who's, what your demographics are, what works, what doesn't work. You can promote things and see the response.
And you can always archive it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, don't worry about getting it perfect, just get it done.
Oh my gosh, some of those girls that have all their Instagram stories and now they're in the highlights and they've got all the perfect little labels on them. I'm like, I can't keep up with this stuff.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It requires commitment.
It does. So bottom line is, there's many more things to being an influencer, but the things I've heard, just like you said, Jez, is for sure cross-promoting, working with people. I think the biggest thing, honestly, that I've noticed in influencers is they're involved with communities. So I think that, yes, there's those very small amount of influencers line that have been so influential that they've created the community, but most influencers I've noticed are involved in huge communities.
You know, it's interesting. Selena Gomez has the hugest community of followers on Instagram, right? I mean, millions and millions and millions of followers. And she just wrote an article the other day that came out in the Newsette that said the most tumultuous relationship she has in her life is her relationship to Instagram.
Wow.
That's profound.
And it is profound because she recognizes the huge amount of influence she has, right? But what does it really mean?
Right? Like, how does it transcend into, something positive or sales or whatever it is? And that's the whole thing. I think the whole game of influencer right now, and why, so many magazines and articles and newspapers and, shows are being created about this topic, because it's not an exact formula.
No, it's all like it's our own reality show. Does anybody else feel like that? They're like, okay, now I have to go around, I have to tape everything I do. I literally found myself at the mechanic yesterday and I was like, do I do an Insta story about this?
Totally. Yeah. It's so interesting, and I would say this as well, like, you can always take solace in the fact that some of the most successful people I know, and I mean that financially, professionally, personally, in all ways, don't even have an Instagram account. Or they don't have a Twitter account, so you don't have to do it. It's just one of those things that you get to make a decision around.
Let's be real. You have to do it.
Do you?
Right? And it may be in our industry, but not all industries. And I agree with you, Rob. Many people do not. But we're talking about influence specifically, and influencer really means online right now, right? We're not just talking about someone who's influential. We're talking about the quote influencers.
Yeah. Well, get online then, people.
So work it today.
Screwing around.
Yeah.
Wasting your time right now.
Instagram. In fact, if you're watching us on Instagram, slide into our DMs. Leave a comment. That's part of what we're doing here, is we're streaming to people digitally through platforms on social media, because that is the wave of the future. We want to connect through them and build our influence in this community.
Right. So I am so excited because we're going to reveal the cover of Focus magazine, and so right after this break, we're going to go to the back studio, and we have them in the house. Right.
A very special guest. We can't wait to introduce you.
So stay tuned. We're going to be right back as we reveal the biggest influencer.
Hello producer Alex Worley, filming inside Focus TV's West Hollywood studio. Welcome to Empowerista, a show dedicated to highlighting female trailblazers and empowering you to turn your barriers into breakthroughs.
Hey guys, I'm Amy Paprath.
And I'm Justin Walter.
And this is What's Good, the show that's dedicated to positive, uplifting stories from all over the globe.
Welcome to Good Morning LaLa Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jessa Moye.
And we're making history as the first live streaming daily talk show.
This is where all kinds of shit happens.
Monday through Friday, we are going to be streaming to you live, Los Angeles, at 9 a.m. Pacific time on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Alyssa Goodman Show. So Kelly, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Alyssa. This is so fun.
I know.
What's up, Rose girls? I'm Jessica Carroll. Today we're gonna have so much fun because we have fitness personality Katie Austin.
Hey,
we're
thanks for
having
having me on.
with
Cheers.
Katie Austin.
I love it. It
Cheers.
feels like a Saturday.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Millennial Life. I'm your host, Laura Odegaard, and today we are joined by the very beautiful former Miss California and now a TV host, Natasha Martinez. I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
You are tuning in to Slay with Rachel McCourt, and I have a fabulous guest. In studio with me is Liza Glukoff. She's just been named executive producer of programming at Awesomeness TV. I mean, no big deal, but huge. Hi.
Thank you. Hi.
Are we so excited right now?
We are so excited.
I mean, we have roses, we have perfect lighting, we've got some Spa Girl vodka in case we get a little crazy.
Hey, Dr. Erin here, teaching universal law and spiritual truth, having a conscious conversation in the heart of Hollywood. And I'm honored to have the guest today, who is Christina Pascucci, who is amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's an honor to be here with you. I so appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Jenna Barnett with Millennial Mom on Focus TV. And today I have Jennifer Yen here today to chat with me about all things mom related. So you actually started your career as an actress and you were on the very famous TV series Power Rangers, right?
Yes, I used to fight them as my first career.
You're watching Beige Bay TV. It's fitness expert and your Beige Bay Edwina Chia. Ladies and genticles, Tiffany Angulo, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. You know, you're my Beige Bay of the week, not only because of your nationality, but because you just seem like the girl who does it all.
Hi everybody, I'm Allie Landry and welcome to Reshape TV. I have created an online platform, reshapelive.com and Reshape TV, to provide a place where women can learn from the very best resources for those of us who are striving to reshape our lives and live an optimal, healthy lifestyle.
Hey LA, I'm Gwen Lane with the LA Girl, and I'm here with Liz Hernandez, former TV host at Access Hollywood and now the founder of Wordiful. So excited to hear more about that. Liz, thank you so much for being here today.
Hi Gwen, thanks for having me.
Hi everyone, it's Michelle Gillette, life coach and host of the Spotlight series on Focus TV. And joining us today is our dear friend, Shalini Videra.
And thank you for having me.
Of course.
I'm so happy to be here.
You're the perfect person to be here because we love anything that is, women helping other women, women empowering other women.
Hi, I'm Janica. I'm here with Focus TV for my segment of Fearless Females. And today I interview Doriana Richmond. You're gonna love listening to Doriana. Not only is she beautiful, but she's so heartfelt and she has created this amazing jewelry line called Stone Simple. Hi.
Oh, thank you for that introduction.
Yeah,
wow.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, and welcome to Everyday Game Changers, the show that features people giving back to their community. I'm your host, Annalise Getz, and today we are joined by Rolanda Watts. Rolanda is a stand-up comedian, she's an actress, she's a television personality, and she is a philanthropist, which is why she's here today. So thank you for joining us, Rolanda.
Thank you for having me. A joy to be here.
Today on Moms Matter, we're going to talk about money, 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 something that we all struggle with and we need help with, and that's why we have the fabulous Winnie Sun, who's here with us today.
Aw, thank you.
Thank you so much. I know you've been on MSNBC and Forbes, and you are the money expert.
Hey everyone, welcome back to a new magical episode of Soul Reboot. I am your host, Allison Charles. Please welcome
and meet this powerful divine queen whose name is Daphne Wayans.
I am so happy to be here with you.
I'm so honored to be here.
Welcome back. We are live in Los Angeles with Good Morning La La Land, and we have the huge honor of being with Lillian Garcia.
Oh my God.
This month, gracing the cover of the Influence issue
Look at
of
that.
Forbes magazine. Thank you
Oh my
so
God.
much for being
It's a beautiful
here.
picture.
So gorgeous.
Holy crow. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. This is really crazy. I mean,
It's beautiful.
you guys
picture.
have no
It is.
idea what this means to me.
It does?
Yeah,
Aw.
it does. I tear up like so easy sometimes, but no, this is great.
But you're
Thank
such,
you.
You're
Thank
such a
you.
beautiful
Thank
woman
you.
inside and out.
Yeah, that's
Thank
a perfect
you.
picture, and it's almost as beautiful as you are in person. Yeah.
Thank you. Oh
And
my
it's a
God,
great
that's so
spot
nice.
in front of that door. We love that antique.
Yeah,
door
you
out
know what was
there, right?
crazy is like being here. I remember that Andy had said that he wanted to put me in the magazine. So I'm like, oh, that's so awesome. Okay, great. And then he's like, you have any current pictures? I'm like, actually, no, not anything current. So he's like, I have a camera. Let me just go out and take pictures of you, right? So we just went over by the door. And then to find out that I made the cover was crazy. And then just to know how quickly this all got taken and happened. It's just, it's
I love it. And the
incredible.
eyes pop, the colors,
Well,
beautiful.
you know, your story is amazing, and it's such a fascinating thing, just looking and diving into the conversation of who an influencer is and what that entails. In your story, you know, you've been so influential in so many huge communities, and what has that been like for you?
Yeah, you know, it's a great responsibility, but at the same time, for me, I feel like it just came at the right time. I'm actually glad, in a way, that Twitter and Facebook and all of that came when I was older, you know, not when I was in my teens and all. And I don't know what I would have posted in my teens, you know what I mean? When you're older, you think twice a little bit more. And I think that it was just at a beautiful time where I had this amazing fan base through the WWE. And when I say amazing, I mean, they have been so incredible. And even though, you know, when I was sad leaving, you know, taking care of my father and all when he was ailing, and stepping away from a world that I had been part of for 15 years, that I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna miss that fan base so much, you know? But they stuck with me. And it was through Twitter and through Facebook and through Instagram that they've stuck with me. And to have that, I feel like I still have all the support behind me, and it's really amazing. And I think that's what's important, is to engage with people. And I think it's important to put out what you put out. I don't think and I'm not bashing people that put selfies, because I put selfies as well, but I don't go every day putting a selfie. I think that it's important to say something when you're saying something, when you're posting something, make it mean something, not just another pretty picture or something like that.
Your journey to this cover has been epic, and we have a quick look at your life. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Lillian Garcia, and I am a singer-songwriter and also television host and podcaster, and this is my life. I was actually raised in Madrid, Spain for the first 8 years of my life, and I moved to the States when I was 8 years old to South Carolina. From there, I moved to New York City, where I spent 16 years, and then that led me to LaLa Land, and here I am. In between that, though, I spent 15 years at WWE, incredible years, as the ring announcer, as also the singer on the show, and just put out 2 albums. Right now, I am currently hosting a podcast, Chasing Glory, on Podcast 1. It's very real, raw, and inspiring, and this is my life.
Yeah. You're so real and raw and authentic. The 15 years you were live, I mean, that was essentially like social media in and of itself right there. That was the perfect training.
It was perfect training, and I'll never forget, like, when I got put in that situation. I didn't even know that I was going to be ring announcer till 3:30 that afternoon when I show up my very first day on the job. Yeah, when
How did you land it?
I was working actually. Well, I was in New York, and I went through a whole thing with an agent, and I got an agent, and then he called me, and I did commercials and voiceover work and all. And then when he called me to do that, I was like, wait, the World Wildlife Fund? Because at the time it was WWF. And he goes, no, World Wrestling Federation. I'm like, what?
A little different.
Yeah, and I was like, wait, well, I'm not a wrestler. He goes, no, I know they're not looking for a wrestler. I don't know what it is, but I think you should go. And I think that was the best lesson that I learned is go anyway, because you can always say no, right, if it turns out to be something you don't want. But that was the best advice that he could give. And so I went and I did the audition, and it landed, long story short, I had waited another 6 months, did another audition for them. And yeah, so all of a sudden they're like, we'd like to, and here's my saying too, I always say, God, let me do my best. Make it, if it's meant to be, make it obvious. If it's not meant to be, make it obvious.
I love that.
Right?
Totally.
I love that.
So when I got on the train after the audition, I knew that it went really well. I felt that it went really well. So I was like, I did my best. Now it's all in your hands, right?
Yeah.
And so when I got back and they called and they said that they want to try me out for 2 to 3 months and I could quit at any time. So I was like, oh, there's my obvious.
Works. Yes.
Obvious.
Easy.
So when I got shown around, and then at 3:30 they're like, we'd like to put you, as the new ring announcer starting tonight. I'm like, how do you do that, Tom? Okay.
Where are my instructions? Yes.
And so they wrote me down, like I wrote all these notes. And so I'm at ringside 20 minutes before I'm supposed to go live. I'm at ringside with my little cue cards, rewriting everything so I could read it. When they tell me, oh yeah, you can't use cue cards.
Oh.
I'm like, oh wait, exactly like you, right? Oh wait, okay. Bad time for a joke. And he goes, no, I'm not joking. This is not boxing. We don't use cue cards here. The executive producer does not like it. I'm like, okay. Yeah. I'm thinking in my head, does the executive producer like for me to go up there and go,
this is live.
Right?
Yeah.
It's live, worldwide, 146 countries.
Oh
no
my
pressure.
gosh.
And at that time, the camera right in the front had that red light, so you could just boom.
Yep, you know it.
Oh yeah.
So was it hard? Like in the 15, like was it ups and downs?
Oh yeah.
Or was it...
Oh yeah. I mean, on the job training, like I'm actually grateful that Twitter and Facebook were not at the time, because I was getting crushed. Like even just on the websites, you could go on the website, and I was like, I'm going on these websites. I can't even. No, and that's why I say don't look. So I just went home and I memorized everything, and I made mistakes, but I would and I beat myself up for it. But then I got to a point where I'm like, Lil, oh, come on, just keep at it. Just you fall down, do it again. You fall down, do it again. And then there I was, 15 years. I must have done something right.
So at what point did you go from just the host to singing the anthem?
Yeah, so that was so I got hired in 1999, August, and then by February of 2000, The Rock was the one that found out, well, he befriended me first, pretty much out of him and Mark Henry, really made friendships with me at the beginning. And it was really hard stepping into this man's environment, very few women. And some of the women there, obviously, in the locker room, they really were friendly to me as well. But he found out that I sang, and so I was doing a live event with them over the weekend, which doesn't get televised. So he said, well, we always play the national anthem, because I said, I can sing the national anthem. I sang it for my graduation. And he goes, well, we always play the national anthem, like an instrumental. He goes, let's see about you singing it. So he told one of the producers, and so they had me sing it. And they liked it so much, they had me sing it for the next 2 nights. I show up Monday at TV, and Vince McMahon heard all about it over the weekend, and he was like, well, I got to see what this is all about. So sure enough, he had me sing it in San Jose, and that was it. It just took off like wildfire. I did that WrestleMania that year, and then since then, they've had me do 3 WrestleManias. I sang at every single event, but then they had me do 3 WrestleManias, so I'll hold the record. Like Aretha Franklin and I were tied for 2. We were tied for 2.
Ties with Aretha Franklin.
Yeah, that's so next level.
Yeah, I respect this. No.
What were you more nervous about? Was it the first time that you sort of? Okay, go ahead.
Real quick.
Yeah.
I want to take a look at you singing the national
anthem.
Oh
yeah, super cool.
Lillian So here on Monday Night Raw, one of the best renditions of the national anthem you'll ever hear.
Let's hear it for some of the greatest WWE female superstars of all time.
Absolute trailblazers who have led the way in the women's evolution.
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
No playing around.
Thank
Lily.
you.
Right?
Thank
Unbelievable.
you. Thank you.
So what do you think this community that is really, you know, you really have an influence, and they made you and you made them and all the above.
Yeah.
What do you think it really, really represents?
Well, for me and like my fan base, like I said, I take them on a journey where it's all about being authentic, okay? And sometimes I will post and I go, guess what? I'm not that happy today. I'm not having a great day today. You know, when my father passed away on Christmas Day, back in 2016. So this past Christmas, on Christmas Eve, I was like sobbing and sobbing and sobbing. And I don't know why, I felt like I needed to connect with my fan base and get their help through this, right? And all I did was I posted this really sad face. It was an emoji, but with tears, you know, and heart tears that were like, I'm feeling it's all because of the love that I'm missing. And I just said, and I posted something, a video too, just telling them, like, I'm not having a great day, like, I'm really missing my father. And the flood and the flood and the flood of just support and love, and I've been through that, and you can get through it, and I know it's sad, and I miss my dad too, or I miss my mom, or I miss, you know. And so it's created this community where we can all share, like, we're in this crazy thing called life, people. Nobody has a handbook on how to get through this, day by day, experience by experience, loss by loss, you know. And so for me, being an influencer is literally like taking people through the journey of life and what I learned, tell me what you've learned through it, and let's just get through this together and try to make the best of it. Wow. But it's just really about being authentic, and that's why I don't worry necessarily how many fan followings do I have, how much did that post make, I don't look at any of that. It's more like, how much did we connect? How much did we help each other through another day? That's the main thing. For me, that's what being
That's a true
influencer,
in my opinion.
So powerful,
right?
absolutely. Yeah.
Because there can be some great influence out there that's very charismatic and funny and whatever, but I don't know. I just don't know if they would actually purchase something or like actually engage in an intense following. I know there's a few out there, but I don't think there's a ton, honestly.
Well, you think about why people go online, it really is to connect.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, so your ability to do that is what makes you such a powerful influencer in real life and online.
Thank you.
Really, truly.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with more in Lillian Garcia. Stay tuned.
This is Jack. His mother didn't save his childhood artwork.
She just threw it all away like it was garbage.
If only his mother had Archive. Archive is the easiest and fastest way to chronologically store your child's art. Snap a picture, tag it, and store it safely in our cloud. Then share it with friends and family. Even turn it into a calendar, mug, or your very own printed book. Oh, you were gonna make one yourself? Yeah, that's what his mom said. Download the Archive app now and help us save art.
Archive, available now on the App Store.
We're live on Good Morning La La Land with the creator Canada Ribbon of Gin Jack. We're talking about motivation and perfection today, but you perfected a cocktail, right?
Yeah, this is I call this motivation in a bottle. It's like it's the embodiment of me. If you could actually ask that question, who would you be if you were a beverage? So just to run down the ingredients, the original version has fresh ginger, cayenne pepper, lemon, green tea, mint, and cane sugar. The dragon fruit version, which we'll try a little bit later, has got all those ingredients plus dragon fruit and passion fruit. This is an anti-inflammatory, and they found that ginger is just as effective as Motrin for anti-inflammation.
Right? I'm not gonna lie, like this is not, I'm not trying to like, you know, fluff it up. It's really, really good.
And it's got like really, like the perfect amount of kick is what I love about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow. Unexpected, so smooth,
so
refreshing.
And then a little sparkle, like, oh.
Live from Los Angeles, back at Good Morning La La Land. We are so excited. We've just revealed the cover of the new influencer magazine for Focus magazine. Lillian Garcia is in the house, and we're so honored to have you here.
Thank you.
Talking about how a major influence in so many different communities. Now we want to talk to you about your podcast and what you're up to today.
Yeah, well, I have this amazing podcast that has taken a life of its own. Like, I had this idea back in 2004, actually. This is before Total Divas and all of that. I went to my executive producer and I said, you know, we have some great, amazing women that, you know, I work with here in the locker rooms, and getting to know them, I was like, their stories are incredible in the fact that some of them have had to overcome such really severe things in their lives. And I said, I feel like we should share this and have me interviewing them and to their core story of what their struggle have been through. They got through it, and now they're here, you know, and then there's still some struggles that still go on. And same thing with just the WWE superstars. A lot of times they're thought of as wrestlers and meatheads and all of that, and they're not. They're definitely not. They're amazing people that have just incredible journeys. They have a love for wrestling. It's another sport. And they're what they've gone through to get there, the commitment and everything that they've battled. So I took that idea when I left, and my father, I remember before he passed away, he was like, I know that you've left WWE to take care of me and everything like that, but you can't just focus on that. Like, I need you to do something, please. So I decided to go ahead and start this podcast, and it was just, it literally, I mean, and now I'm on podcast 1. It's called Chasing Glory, and it's all about the stories of the chase for glory and what people have gone through. And what's happened is, you know, I started interviewing everybody I pretty much work with because I just had such great rapport with them. But what's happened is the things that are being revealed, from eating disorders that they've gone through, to being molested, to having, you know, issues with the father, that, you know, they had anger with the father so much, and then because I would see, like, this one particular guy that shared the story, and he was talking about, I could see him when he was first at WWE, how angry he was. Then he came back, and he wasn't so angry. Then he talked about it on the show, and he was just like, you know, I realized that I was still angry at my father, and so I took that to the workplace. And he goes, and I dealt with it, and now, you know, my second time around, I'm a whole different person. And so it's been incredible. Like, I interviewed Dave Bautista. You would think that Dave, like, he really talks about the fact when he got Guardians of the Galaxy, you thought, wow, he's on cloud 9.
Right.
Right?
Yeah,
yay.
over.
No. So the guy was in London. He has social, like, anxiety around a lot of people, and he admits it, and he says, I wish that I and it was great because he shared, he goes, if you have that issue, and he's had it since he was a kid, he goes, accept it, just embrace it. And he goes, I tell that now to kids. But he goes, I was all the way in London, I didn't know anybody. I have social anxiety, so I'm on set doing my thing, which is cool, but then I'm in the hotel room all by myself, and I'm away from my family, and he goes, that was really, really hard on me.
It's incredible what people open up to you about and really share with you. We've got some B-roll. Let's take a look.
We have one of your good friends coming in, Lillian Garcia. So let's give her a shout out.
Lillian, what's up, girl? Love you.
So Lillian's coming in tomorrow for an interview on Focus, and we wanted to give her a quick shout out. I know you're on her podcast. How was it?
It was amazing. You know, I think because I've known Lillian for over 10 years, she was able to break me down very easy, which is difficult for me because just, you know, competing on Dancing with the Stars, that is one of my biggest issues, is letting my guard down. And she totally let that down, and I feel like I talked about a lot of stuff that I haven't, and it was just, I realized that it's sometimes good to let that stuff out because you just are more relatable. People are like, okay, now I can relate to you. Like, you have a lot of normal qualities. And so I was kind of happy to share some of my stories, even though it was kind of difficult, but it was good.
Nikki Bella, she's awesome.
It's fascinating, you know, as doing interviews here on the show, and a lot of us do deeper work with clients and stuff. But how do you on your show, because if you've worked with somebody for many years, it's easier to probably get those things out. But a lot of the times people don't want to show those, you know, they don't want to show their vulnerability. They want to just talk about, you know, how great it is now, whatever it is. Do you how do you get them to get vulnerable on the show?
Well, I mean, I remember I have an interview that I recorded. It's going to be coming up. And at the very beginning, I don't know her. She actually reached out to be on the show. I've heard her. I mean, I've heard of her. Her name is Nita, and she's a guitar player, and she's a badass guitar player, playing for Alice Cooper. She's incredible. So at the very beginning of the interview, she had her jacket on, and she was like kind of to the side and very stiff. I could just see that. And I just started talking to her, and I don't know. I don't know whether it's just because I just love humans and I love stories, and I'm not trying to you know, make somebody break down so that I can get something out of it or anything. Right, exactly. There's none of that. So I think that they sense that, and then by the middle of the interview, she like taken off her jacket, and she was like facing me, and she was just like laughing, and you know, it was a great interview. And she got done, and she was like, whoa, this is like the best interview I've ever done. And that's like a huge compliment, right? For me, I'm like, yes, I get so much out of that. It just fills me. And her boyfriend was there, and he goes, I have never even heard some of these stories. Like she said, I shared things with you that I've never shared. And I think she realized, maybe because I shared mine, maybe that's too. Like I talk about, I was bulimic for years, and I went through that. I've had certain things that have happened to me, and you know, I think that's when people are, you can share your own things, people are like, oh yeah, you know what? That happened to me too. You know, and so now it doesn't become a, let's always just put the, you know, the rosy face that everything's great, because everything's not always great.
Right.
And we just got to get know how to get through it.
I went to Podcast One, and I was reading some of the comments, right, under Chasing Glory, and even one of the fans said, every time I listen to the show, I learned something about Lillian, and I learned something about myself. And that's so incredible, because you're beyond the guests you have on the show. You're connecting so deeply with your listeners. I mean, truly, for years and years and years. That's why you have such a loyal fan base and community.
Amazing.
So we have to take a little break again.
Yes.
But when we come back, we're going to find out more about your journey and all this stuff, and wrap up this incredible day all about influencers. So stay tuned, you guys. We'll be right back.
And the reason they book me and keep me is because it's more than just training. It's just authentic. And so I think that's one thing I realized that I had my whole life was will. I'm so determined to get to where I want to go. I'm not going to let nothing stop me, not even myself. Right? And I try to tell my clients and people, it's all a mindset. You know, you got to really want it. They said, you can change anything, but before you change anything, you got to change it in your mind first. Just because I always say if it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you.
I'm Eden Sassoon, and I own 2 Pilates studios, Eden by Eden Sassoon Pilates. And to be quite honest, I hate socks. But my girlfriend Sally just created a line, Mantra Socks. And to me, at Pilates, you cannot get on my machine without socks. But now, you can get on my machine with the intention. Today, I have Be Love. To me, that means a lot. But also, when you buy a pair of these socks, 1 pair gets donated to a homeless shelter. And that is something, that's really what matters, to be quite honest. It's not just about the sock. It's about the intention. It's about what you're giving back and how you're paying it forward. And so for that, Sally, I thank you. And I love Mantra Socks.
Welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. We are here with Lillian Garcia. We could not be more excited. Such a fascinating conversation. I think you've done pretty much everything in your life, Lillian.
You know, you'd say that, but there's still things that I want to conquer.
Like what?
For you? You know, my whole dream, and I know that things always look a little different, and I didn't realize that actually till after I left WWE, which is crazy. But I had put that I wanted to sing all over the world and travel all over the world as far as, you know, with my singing, basically. And so in my head, it was always with a band and my songs and, you know, all of that. And then I realized, wait, I did get to do that because I sang national anthems. Like even when I went to Australia, I would sing theirs. When I'd go to Scotland, I'd sing O Flower Scotland. When I'd sing in Spain, there's not the national anthem, but there's a whole song, Que Viva España. So I got to sing all these different songs all over the world. So I was like, oh yeah, I guess I got to do that. It just didn't look the way I thought.
Prayers are already answered, right?
My whole thing, and it's something I have to be careful about too, is I've been able to accomplish so much and do so much, and I have to realize that just because it didn't look the way you thought doesn't mean you failed, right? But I'm still trying to figure out how to get singing in there. I gotta sing more. I mean, there's a song in me. Right? There is too much in me, so I'm like, maybe I should do the YouTube videos. Maybe I should just sing for the fans like that. What do you guys think? Like, I'd love to hear if, you know, because there's so many people that go out and they sing cover songs on YouTube, you know, and I'm working in the studio now on my own, but I mean, just something that I can like put out weekly or bi-weekly or something. So, I mean, that's a whole, I gotta be honest with you, that's a whole new challenge for me.
That's
amazing.
Do you have like a song that's your anthem?
A song that's my anthem.
Or that you're like playing to motivate you right now?
Well, anytime when you're thinking about that, we have a little gift for you. A few gifts for you.
This was already enough.
One is a Karma Army coin, and it's actually all about doing good. So what it is it's a brilliant concept. It's basically about doing good deeds and paying it forward for karma. And people, you can give someone a tea or whatever, a song or whatever it is that you want to give them, and give them the coins. They pay it forward. We give it to all of our guests, and we'd love to know what you do with your karma coin because we want to spread good juju around the world, and we know you already do.
That's awesome. And there's a number on the back that you can log into the website and actually track where your kindness goes all over the world.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
But we have a few other gifts for you. This one first. Okay. So,
Karma Army.
First one, of course, is the cover. The gorgeous, gorgeous cover.
So awesome.
And you're going to be on my wall as well because I'm on the cover with you. So
that's what that was really about.
That's right, you're there.
Aaron getting up on your wall.
Oh, I love it. Next
this is so awesome.
We have another little surprise for you, which is your article within the magazine and the cover.
Amazing.
So Focus TV is going to be all over your wall for
When Andy said you're going to live with me forever.
Oh my
and
God.
finally,
holy moly, what is going on?
Oh my God.
When I'm out of town, I will leave that for my husband.
That's right. You can sleep with that. You can sleep with that.
I'll put that right on my bed, on my bedside.
We want to know where this is going to go. We want a picture. You can show us a B-roll of where it's going to go.
This is, like literally, I think whenever I go out of town, I'll just lay her down. Right? Oh my God, this is awesome. Right? This is a lot of me.
So we can't get enough of you.
But you know what? None of this would be possible at all if I didn't have the fan base that I have. Because I always say it starts with them. If I don't have fans, then I got nothing. When I mean that is I don't want somebody to say, oh, I don't have anybody following me, because I have those sometimes. They'll go, I have 6 followers. Does that mean that I'm nothing? No, it doesn't mean that. But I'm saying for what my job is, for what I do.
Right.
Like, and for the following that has come with me, that kind of just, it organically grew. It's not like I went out there. I think that's the other thing, is don't try to be like forcing people to follow you, or, you know.
Follow me back. Here, I just followed you. Unfollow them. And then
Hashtag follow for follow.
Exactly. Totally. I think it's more of like, just be authentic and put things out there, and then people will gravitate to you if, you know, if they want.
Right.
And if they don't want, that's fine.
Well, we just want to thank you for all your work and just being
thank
authentic
you.
for your own path, and we're looking forward to hearing your songs. I want them weekly. We want to play them in here, and just follow your whole journey, because it's really exciting.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've got a very good feeling about this singing thing. Oh my gosh. It's like anything you touch turns to gold.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, so what else, you guys? What else? We have so much going on, so many influencers. Who else has been your biggest influencer?
Well, singing-wise, be honest with you, Pat Benatar. And I haven't been able to.
Love some Pat
Amazing.
Benatar.
She's amazing. She.
Love is a battlefield.
Oh my God, love is and I just went. My husband actually last August for my birthday surprised me with a concert, and he was trying so hard to get me to meet her. I haven't met her. I was supposed to meet her one time. It was all set up for me to meet her in Vegas, when I actually I tore my ACL and had to get surgery, and it was during that time, so I couldn't meet her. So Pat Benatar, right?
Well, maybe we'll see what kind of magic we can make happen. We'll get Pat here.
Right? Oh man, I'll be like that fan. Oh, I love you. She just, and she continues to perform, right? She continues, and she just sings so amazing, and yeah.
And then also, we have your husband in the studio.
Yeah.
And so has anyone been a big influence for you guys for mentoring, for relationship stuff?
Actually, you know, I believe in, like, we went through, when my father moved in and my mom moved in, and there was just that whole, it was kind of chaotic in a way, and dealing with, you know, a loss in the family, and dealing with even taking care of him and everything. It was a lot on us too. And at you know, at times we would literally have, you know, hospice in and this, so we went to a therapist, and I do believe in therapy work to help you get through this. Like I said, we're in this world, we don't have handbooks, we don't know how to do this. Like, go to somebody that maybe can help.
I love that.
Another reason the Chasing Glory podcast is so popular, because you essentially are people's therapist.
Maybe
I think that's a huge part of it, right?
In an inverted
you really
way.
are. It's that
That's
unconditional acceptance that you offer people. It's incredible.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Well, we're just honored, so excited to be here with you guys in LaLa Land, which is really a global thing. It's all about following your dreams.